Hello everyone. I'm starting really late tonight because my family decided, kind of out of the blue today, that they wanted to go see the new Ghostbusters movie. I already forgot what the subtitle was called. Frozen Empire or something? Good movie. Had fun. I recommend it.
Glad to see you again, Doctor.
Sorry, 1 second. I do that a lot. I need to stop doing that. Just accepting messages all over the place in the middle of my streams. Anyway, we've got the April Fool's event today that I forgot was a thing each year, and this thing that I know nothing about. Did it even announce that? Design of Strife. Oh yeah, I was seeing this. But there's like no information on it, except that it's happening. Cardigan skin, I guess. Well, to start things off just for fun, let's do a little headhunting. There are 3 characters in this that I do not have. Let's hope I can get one of them.
My codename is Beagle. I know I didn't do very well on my assessment, but I'll still do my...
I do not have these 2. I think Stainless would be nice. He seems to be the only decent member of his subclass. Or there's Ines, another great character that I don't have. Don't really need her much, but great to have. And then there's Cement, who I probably will never use, but once again, nice to have. Nice to round out the roster. Let's hope I get one of them.
医療オペレーターのススーロです。ドクターは各方面に精通していて。I'm
Nope.
Vanilla, trainee operator from Blacksteel. Looking.
If y'all haven't seen the last couple Ghostbusters movies, the last one and this new one, they're great. They're really good. I'm glad that they were able to make them good. Oh, we got a 5-star. Who it be?
Doctor, I'm back.
Darn.
Doctor, I know my last field assignment took longer than usual, but don't look at me like you don't recognize me. Medic Operator Hibiscus, reporting in.
Shame. I was really hoping to get Stainless. Oh well. Someday. Alright, let's start with the April Fool's event. I need to move my window over, I just realized. Hey there, Faiku, glad to have you. Did you happen to watch my awful April Fool's stream last night? Probably after the fact. Okay, finish live streams, clear stage 1, blah blah blah. I have no idea what any of this means. I already saw the video for this, by the way. It had a story thing. You didn't? Says Faiku. Yeah, it was awful. Intentionally, of course. I did a short, very short stream of a casino game I grew up with on my Game Boy. And I only just realized today that I didn't even have the volume balancing right, and you could barely hear me over most of the game's music and sound effects. Caught a great clip from it, though. I won roulette on my first bet, and it was a joke bet. This is a... what a title. Last all-arounder beauty girl, you official, takes you on a trip. Hashtag Territor, hashtag not graduating. Last all-arounder beauty girl, you official, takes you to Terra. Last all-arounder beauty girl, what? My voice sounds low? Gosh dang it. Why does this keep happening? Testing. Testing, testing. How's this? Turned up the game audio. I don't know what happened. I've been having balancing issues with the volume lately. Originally, it was like all I had to do was adjust the desktop audio and I'm good. But lately it seems like I'm constantly having to adjust my mic audio as well. It's really weird. Okay, because I just adjusted the desktop audio because I used to stream with it at 10 decibels when I did Arknights. And it was at 15 just now. And I just moved it back to 10, but I also increased my mic. How are we doing? Are we still good, Faiku? Hey there, Big Dog Jake. Glad to have you, I think. They said, cheers, follow the channel, nerds. A little low? I guess I am trying to be quiet. Maybe that's part of my problem is I'm trying to be quiet. How's this? Hey, Red made it, Anks made it. What's up, folks? We're getting a party in here. Heck yeah. How is everybody? And Big Dog Jake, what brings you here? Yeah, I'll turn this down a little more. I can't be much louder. My mom is asleep in the room directly above me at the moment. You saw me post my stream link in Melee Games Discord? Well, cool. Somebody from there finally saw it. Glad to have you. Red's greeting Faiku. Oh shoot, we have I got chat friends happening now? All hail Faiku, formerly known as Wahem, my first non-friend follower. Of course, you're all friends to me, but I mean, like, first follower that wasn't someone I knew personally, online, or in actual person, you know? First random follower, I guess is a good way to put it. Anyway, I suppose, give me a moment, I'll pull up my own stream on my phone to check the volume balancing here. Give me one moment, everyone. Hopefully soon I won't need to stream so late and I can... Okay, 1 second. Okay, I can hear myself and not the game. Adjusting the game. Testing, testing. My mic actually sounds a little loud to me. Testing, testing. Alright, So from my end, this sounds pretty good. How does it sound to everybody else? Sounds the same as before. Man, I just completely rebalanced it. Desktop audio was at negative 20 decibels, or like minus 20 from norm or whatever. I don't know how to read this thing. It said 20 decibels before. I moved it up to 10, which is louder. So I guess a negative. Yeah, I moved it up to minus 10, which is louder. And then I adjusted my mic down to minus 10, which was quieter than what it was before. Big Dog Jake said, I turned the stream up 100%. I can hear it fine, but I'm presuming it might still be quiet for some. That's really weird, because I'm looking at the audio mixer here. Granted, the desktop audio is only halfway up the green. My mic is all the way up in yellow at the moment. I'm using OBS. I don't know how else to adjust the volume on this thing. I'm still new-ish to things. Let's try advanced audio properties. Okay, mic and desktop. Okay, how's this for everyone? Did I just blow anyone's ears out? Oh dear, hold on. No? Seems okay. Louder now, much better? Cool. Okay, I figured it out. I'm still gonna... Okay, are we still good here? I'm trying to stop my mic from peaking the heck out of things. Okay, I don't know why, but I checked advanced audio properties, and both the desktop and mic were set to 31%. Oh, now they're adjusted again. I guess I'll set it back to 0 decibels. Okay, guess we're at this now. So that was just the numerical value thing, I guess. Yeah, okay. Alright, I understand how this works now. So I've got it. The mixer I'm using was actually the same as the advanced properties. The volume adjustment. It used percentages in the advanced window, whereas the audio mixer itself used decibels, so I didn't realize they were connected. I suspected, but everyone seemed to like it when I didn't have them adjusted, which was weird to me because I was always adjusting them so that I could hear myself clearly over the game. And that was based on past people that couldn't hear me over the game. I'm also trying to stop my mic from hitting into the red, which it currently is doing. I don't know, man. I don't think I can... Kind of wish there was a way to adjust the range on this thing. Maybe I'll have to fiddle with it later on. Jake said, I see it was adjusting system audio, not a separate soundboard-only volume setting in addition to Windows volume. Well, I don't have a soundboard. All of the stuff that I just did is all in OBS. Unless the audio mixer here counts as a soundboard, but that's just a part of OBS. It is not an external mixer. I do not have one, and I do not have much of room for one at the moment. I wish I did. I wish I had more space for all of this, but at the moment I do not. If I did, I would have a second monitor and everything. Life goals. Currently I'm working toward lessons for a possible second source of income. Gotta save up 3 times what I currently have, though. So, probably not gonna happen till next year. Sadly, I just hope I can make it that long. Anyway, let's finally get into this before it's time for me to head off. Big Dog Jake said, I use an Alesis Multimix Duo, about 8 inches by 4.5 inches, cost about $45. I'll try to remember that. Red said, I always forget you only got the one monitor. I want more, just don't have one yet. Don't have room for it. I barely have room for this setup. This desk is small and was not made for a huge gaming rig. Especially with all the other stuff I've got all over it. Books, games, props, etc. Anyway, let's see if I can figure out what I'm doing here. So this is an April Fool's event for anyone who isn't familiar with this, which I guess might just be Jake at the moment, but yeah, so this is not indicative of what the actual game is like, and we might see some actual gameplay later. A glimpse into the Grand Knight territory. Jake said, will I get bamboozled? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I haven't done this one before. So it's going to simulate actual gameplay in a way. If you want to find content to stream, you can't go wrong by starting from your own experiences. I've been to Kazumiege's Grand Knight territory before, and that place is never lacking in content. Oh, I bet it's not. Faiku said, will you try the new event? I think I will, yeah. I don't know why I wouldn't. Jake, have you ever heard of this game, by the way? Grand Knight territory. I heard there are a whole bunch of hotties there. Is that true? Let's worry about the hotties later. For now, try deploying yourself somewhere first and shooting some street scenes with the passersby. Oh, are we gonna be doing tower defense, but with cameras? Jake said, I have not heard of this game. So I guess I'll give you a small rundown. What this game actually is tactical tower defense, but it is also a gacha game, kind of like Genshin Impact. What you're seeing here is an April Fool's event, which usually takes characters or gameplay and messes with it a little bit, which we're about to see how they did it this time around. Tap here to get ready to start shooting. Once your skill is ready, you can film passersby and use them as material to chat with your audience in future streams. The person you're filming right now is a competition knight, and while their armor looks pretty cool, you see this kind of stuff so often, it's hard to say what kind of response it'll get. So in the universe of Arknights, Jake, the Kazumiege's Grand Knight territory is essentially their version of the Olympics. Ancient knight orders from like classic medieval times, but like the fantasy equivalent, eventually became modern day sportsmen playing knight games, in a sense. Jake said, I do like tower defense, but gacha, never wanted to try Genshin Impact, for instance. I hear ya. The main reason I stay with this game is twofold. For one, the gameplay is actually deep enough that it really forces me to think about what I'm doing sometimes. Quite often, actually. Not a lot of games can do that to me lately. They're usually either too tough for me to figure out or too easy to satisfy me for more than a few days. But this game manages to keep me on my toes enough that I've been playing it for, I want to say, at least 2 years now. Almost daily. Daily if you count the, like, doing the daily stuffs. But also it has some very deep storytelling. One of my biggest complaints about the game, actually, is that the cutscenes are so deep and rich in storytelling that a cutscene can go for a straight half hour, followed by a 2-minute mission, and then another half-hour cutscene. Jake said that the deep, hard thinking reminds me of my first real tower defense game, Defense Grid Awakening. I haven't heard of that one. So that mixed with story, I kind of want to check this game out. I'm definitely interested in watching. Well, you're here to see it. And I've got plenty of other Arknights content I've done in the past. In fact, I just beat another event a few days ago. I completed the whole gosh dang thing, which I was not expecting to manage. Anyway, let's continue with the gameplay before it gets to be 3 in the morning and my bedtime. The person you're filming right now is a competition knight, and while their armor looks pretty cool, you see this kind of stuff so often, it's hard to say what kind of response it'll get. Does that mean I have to find some major celebs? Like, I have the resources for that. Don't be discouraged. You never know what big names will pop up.
Just like the old days?
The biggest frickin' name. This guy's one of the best characters in the game. See that office worker over there reading the newspaper? He seems pretty ordinary, right? But he also looks like he has quite the story to tell. Maybe he's exactly the sort of celebrity we need. I don't know what kind of story I'll be able to get out of him, but he's just the type of stud I've been wanting to film. Then what are you waiting for? Tap here to start shooting. This material is excellent. The primary subject looks quite unique, so you could even call it rare footage. In addition to these unique characters, some passers-by will have interesting interactions. Capturing those scenes will also give you rare footage. Unlike ordinary footage, rare footage is guaranteed to get the desired response during the stream, which is important for keeping things running smoothly. You can check the live footage you've collected here. Mediocre photo. How about 3 of them at once? Oh shoot, it's the Candle Knight. That's her actual name, by the way, Jake. That woman sure has a larger-than-life aura around her. Could she be one of those random celebrities popping up you mentioned? That's none other than Lady Viviana, the Candle Knight. I can't believe she's here. What are we waiting for, then? Let's get filming. But she's not in range yet. This guy looks grumpy. Hold up, look over there. She's being tailed by some shady fellow. He might be up to no good. Or at least she's definitely in a bad mood. She's probably not someone to cross, though. She's one of the champions of the Grand Night events, whatever they're called. If you film a nasty person like that, the footage will be worthless for sure, so be careful. I mean, maybe worthless for like, grabbing public attention, but if you catch him in the act of doing something, that would be priceless footage for things like police. Alright, got it. I'll avoid the nasties and focus on the hotties. Also, after the countdown ends, your live stream session will begin. If you feel like you've collected enough footage, you can also tap here and immediately end your filming. When you're filming for real, it's best to collect at least 8 pieces of footage before starting your stream. Otherwise, you won't be able to download things the usual way once you start. And I'm officially lost on what they're talking about. Alright, go ahead and try to grab some content. If you want to change in scenery, just redeploy yourself on over. Got the Candle Knight. I needed 8, but I only got 6. Official stage unlocked. Subscribers. 4 mediocre photos, and we got Lennar and the Candle Knight. Please return to the main event page and head to the official stage to start streaming. Faiku said just a tutorial. Yes, indeed. Also, Jake said Candle Knight's design is very nice. Indeed it is. Oh, that was another thing that drew me into Arknights, was people will say this a lot about these kinds of games, that character designs are really nice, but I love the pseudo sci-fi look that a lot of these characters have, as well as the skin designs. Like, I think 2 of my current favorite character designs are Milce's here, and Hayek. Also, what crazy names. Yeah, look how crazy this looks. Like, this is about the least generic design I've seen in a long time as far as anime characters go. Faiku said, did you know she will get a skin? I did not. I have to wonder what that will look like. I mean, as it is, I have to wonder if this thing is some sort of hydration system, or just an absurdly fancy camelback. Jake said, generally it isn't my thing, but I have a somewhat secret soft spot for very well drawn, very well designed anime-style characters. Then he said, whoa, this design is wild, looks amazing. Right! And there are so many characters in this game, oh my word. Because unlike Genshin, where you have to worry about weapons and everything, this game is all about the characters. I got these guys from the Monster Hunter collaboration they did last year. That's right, this game has high-profile collaborations. They're doing Rainbow Six later this year, and a repeat of a previous Rainbow Six crossover that they were originally never going to repeat. And I'm excited because I missed that one. I wasn't playing the game when that one happened. Jake said, I'm also somewhat jokingly anti-furry, but anime girls all allow various horns and tails. There's actually lore reasons for that. So this takes place in another universe called Terra. It's what TV tropes would call a crapsack world. And it's implied that you, the player character, are the only true human left on Earth after going into stasis during some kind of apocalyptic event. And these people, these kinds of people, evolved over that time. Jake said, oh my goodness, is that what's his name from A Crap Guide to D&D? No, but that is the same mask. That mask, I believe, comes from Monster Hunter. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. I was actually watching one of those videos recently. Here's Lennar, the one we just saw in that tutorial thing. That's another thing some people have pointed out about the characters in this game. You've got some actual genuine men in this roster, not just a bunch of pretty boys. Jake said, understood, also solid pickup on my poor reference. The suit of armor behind him is crazy. Yeah, so his species is classified, he and his entire family line are called Pegasi. That is their actual species, race, whatever you want to call it. And so the characters, when they're maxed out, usually have some neat artwork of the creature that they were based on in the background. So let's see. I guess this Aya technically doesn't. Her other one, I think, has sheep, but this one has a volcano because she's a volcanologist. Let's see. Yeah, we got some sheep for Aya here. Here's Neril, the niece of Lenar, the other guy. See, there's another Pegasus in the background, and then I got this skin. Oh, there's another one back there too, it's just harder to see. I didn't remember that this was a skin. Jake said, yeah, he looks like a man, not just a pretty boy. And, dude, Lenar is the unsung hero type. This guy's actually jarringly heroic, but he's also just a little lost and depressed. But he's one of the best characters in the game by far. Same for Ling here. She is capable of soloing entire levels on her own because she's a summoner. She can summon dragons.
Glad to see you again, Doctor.
I showed what this was about, so I guess let's do some stuff for Jake here. By the way, lots of content in this game. Oh my word. Lone Trail was a really cool one. This is the one that they go into outer space. I mastered this one just barely. It was real tough. Jake said, I love that based on the story, a lot of their weapons are them holding their microphones and their mic booms. Faiku said Lone Trail was peak. Lone Trail is fantastic. The story was inspiring. This music is great too. But yeah, Jake, the concept here is they do have magic. And so they will frequently use things like mic stands or TV antenna and such as like magic staves. But you've also got actual gunnery and stuff going on too. In this world, they don't have gunpowder, but the people are also naturally stronger than humans. So guns instead act like especially fancy wands, where the spell is cast by firing the bullet. And then you've got characters with like wands and staves, and you've got characters with crossbows that are strong enough to be similar to guns in real life. Why do I keep clicking on that? There's also this game mode, which is roguelike of a sort. Do I have something running on this right now? I think I do. Jake said, trying to acquire Arknights, but translating traditional Chinese is difficult for my browser. It is a mobile game, for the record. I am using BlueStacks. I'm using the BlueStacks emulator to play it on PC. Oh, Typhon's in here now. I'll probably do that on my own time, just so we don't get too deeply into story or something. Let's just do a normal one for now. Just start one to show Jake what this can be like. Oh, I unlocked a new squad. Cool. Guard and Vanguards cost 2 less hope to recruit, 1 less to promote, and have a greatly increased chance of being randomly promoted. Jake said yes, I saw Apple, Android, Windows download links, but the Windows link took me to a Chinese site. If you have a recommendation for how to acquire or download the game, let me know post-stream. If you plan to play it on PC, I would say just get BlueStacks and emulate Google Play or whatever, and then look up Arknights that way. Or just do it on your phone. You can find it in regular app stores, really. I don't know about the Chinese site thing. Let's go with this one. New squad, might as well. Ooh, we got the hot kettle. Obtain a hot water kettle collectible. Immediately gain +1 max life point and +1 hope. This game mode is more complicated than the actual gameplay is, because you've got all these unique things going on. This is a roguelite mode. Oh, a small warning, Jake, about the game that a lot of people don't realize. The tutorial of the base game is long. It's like an entire story of its own. But once you finish the tutorial and actually get into the real meat of the gameplay, that's when it really gets awesome. And Red has said that same thing to me when he tried it out. So yeah, this is a roguelite mode. This is a little better for showing off how the tactics can be fluid and everything. I'm gonna go with this group because this is my favorite build for this game mode. And as I said, I'm gonna grab Ling because she's a summoner. Let's get Lapland. And good ol' Ansel. Red said, yeah, the tutorial was a slog. Obtain after this floor. Gain 2 objective shield to transfer nodes. Don't worry about that for now. Here we go. Hands of Moss. Handprints made of moss appear on walls, tree trunks, and clothing. The Syracusan Mafia's favorite way of leaving their mark has shown up in Sami in a unique form. Just really loving the art style. Yeah, the art is great. Okay, we're starting with this mission. So I'm going to set skill to this one because it changes what her summons do. This one makes her summons ground units. This one makes them ranged units. Now you might wonder, why would you ever want ground versus ranged? Well, hint might be in the fact that I called this one ground and not close combat. Specifically is because ranged units use a different tile set. Ranged units can only be placed on upper tiles, ground units are placed on floor tiles.
To scatter the fill of a brimming cup, to share the sip.
Make Texas the leader.
Lapland is a ground unit, and
Ready
Ansel
whenever.
here is a healer.
You people. I
First
don't
things
think I'll even
first.
remember your faces after this one. Anyway, let's
Gonna
just get
wanna-
started.
No, let's put you here. Block the path forward. Jake said, Arknights, quote, is a free-to-play tactical RPG / tower defense mobile game developed by Chinese developer Hypergriff, according to Wikipedia, explains the Chinese website. Yes, it is. Okay, and now Ling can go here, facing down.
A war song. For the fallen, a lament.
So now what I can do is... let's see. Trying to figure out how I want to arrange things. This one can go here.
Truly one word to address all beneath the heavens.
See, you can't tell because this guy's just standing there, but that skill allows me to bind one unit for a moment.
Truly, when will the hate sunk beneath the battlefield disperse?
I forgot I needed to put my healer there. So I'll take this one out. Healer can go there. Let's speed things up a little bit. Yeah, I'll do it that way.
Has it come to the split halberd?
And this one can go there facing up.
Great aspirations unrecompensed.
And see, now I've got all this space covered by these attackers, and then Lapland herself is able to stop up to 2 units from passing by her.
Can you do it? Claire!
You also notice there's 2 different kinds of skills going on here. Ling is activated manually. Lapland activates automatically, and I think that's partially because as the character herself is described as not all there in the head. She's something of a free spirit, if you catch my meaning. And now, because this is an easy mission, I can mostly just sit back and chill.
Has it come to my... The split halberd sinks in the sand. Great aspirations unrecompensed. Truly, the split halberd sinks in the sand. Great aspirations
over.
unrecompensed.
Jake said, I understand, unless she just points in a direction and goes for it, switching as she wills it. Not really. She will always face the direction you place her.
How do you like it?
Otherwise, that would add too much RNG for the game to be reliable. But she just activates her skill when it's ready, rather than waiting for you to give her the go. We got this already? Heck yeah. So now we have access to Ling's 3rd skill, which makes her summons absurdly strong. And fun fact, Ling is about to become available again quite soon. So I would recommend playing as much of the game as you can before then so you can build up the resources to draw for Ling. And her siblings. Ling and her siblings are all very strong. We can do an emergency mission here. Ah yes, this one. So now I'll switch to this one, which makes them ground units again, but you'll see why that's useful. If I can place them down quick enough, that is. Lore-wise, you mean, referring to Lapland. Gotcha. Okay, Ling
People,
first.
I don't think I'll even remember your faces after this one. Anyway, let's just get started.
So, if you can't tell, these guys are trying to break through these things. If they do, they're gonna rush the exit. I gotta take them all out before they can do that. And they also have these collar things. These guys are implied to be prisoners. But now check this out. Boom, area of effect damage.
Great aspirations unrecompensed.
But I can take it further. I can make them stronger.
Come on, c'eri quasi tesoro.
Didn't even need my healer.
Another song, sublime and majestic. Doctor, perhaps you and I truly are as two entwined friends.
In case it wasn't obvious, the reason she said Doctor instead of Winters is because Winters is my name in this. That's the name I gave myself. Faiku said Ling will just solo the game. She can. Jake said, you're doing a fantastic job explaining this game, as well as what you are doing moment to moment. Thank you! I pride myself on my ability to explain things. Another thing that's interesting is Ling is a poet by hobby, which is why she speaks like this. Apparently, somebody out there once took one of her poems and entered it into a poetry contest and won. This game has officially won a poetry contest, because the writing in this game is so good. My reading of the story as well has good artistry to it. Does it? I was barely trying, man. I'm trying to keep my voice down. Let's go with Santala. See, now I can add Santala to my squad. Now, in regular non-roguelite gameplay, you can build your squad however you want, up to 12 characters, and you can also borrow a character from somebody else's squad if you want. Jake said VOA, so I recognize your inflection intended or otherwise. What's VOA again? Oh, voiceover something. Voiceover actor or something, right? Voiceover actor / artist. Yeah, see, that's what I'm actually saving up for lessons for, interestingly enough. I want to be a voice actor. I think the voice I want to do most, though, I want my voice in Warframe. Because they've got 4 voice options in it, and they are either definitely male or definitely female, and I think I land right in the middle. We need more androgyny in some of these games. Anyway, that's how a certain version of regular gameplay goes. Let's see. What's another way to show actual basic gameplay? So this is a boss mission, and was one of the easiest ones I've ever done. Not to be confused with the EX boss mission, which is one of the toughest I've ever done. Look at all of these exits. Jake said, getting your foot in the door of the community of VOAs is the hardest, but man, your androgynous voice is something sought after. Makes me happy to know that. Yeah, I'll show you how I did this one. Pardon me for calling it androgynous if that is upsetting. It's not, and I say that with a question mark because I love-hate my voice. I wish I could do an awesome deep guy voice. I've got a lot of voices that I envy, but I also do value a soft voice, and I envy Kenny Loggins for the voice he uses in his Christmas music. That dude's voice is so soft. It's gosh dang it, man. If any soft voices are to be envied, it's Kenny Loggins. But as far as deep voices, I wish I could do the stereotypical voice of the Space Marines from Warhammer. I would love to have that booming power. But sadly, my voice lacks... I have like 1% bass in my voice. That's it. I've got nothing. Anyway, so this is auto-deploy. So what you're going to see is how I actually beat this level way back when I played it. If it works right. Sometimes they don't go exactly as planned when you do an auto-run thing. You're going to look at all 6 stars. These are all some top characters in this mission. Kirin Ariato here was also from the Monster Hunter event. You can't get her anymore. So there's a lot more classes and such going on here as well. So I'm going to do my best to explain it all.
Fear neither hardship nor darkness.
So I'm sure you've noticed we've got this thing down here. Unit limit 9, C13. Unit limit is how many units I can have on the field at one time. C is the cost of putting a unit down. This is how much I can spend. So you'll see the numbers here, 9, 10, 11, all the way up to 32. So I can't put this one down because I do not have 32 yet, but I can put these ones down because I have more than their cost. This one and this one are vanguards. Their entire purpose is to build up more of this faster, so that I can put down more units on the field. This one is what's called fast redeploy. She's meant to be dropped in and out over and over for strike tactics. Pretty much all the rest of the characters are meant to be damage dealers or defenders of some kind. So here we go with Vanguard. Faiku said, surely it will not break. I hope not. So I've got Calcit here is unique. She's a healer, but she has one summon that she can put down that is one of the heaviest damage dealers in the game. I think it's implied that she's an android, which is why this is possible. Saria here is one of the best defenders in the game and is capable of automatically healing units around her each time her skill charges. So I got a lot of healing going on here. Aya here is one of the best casters in this game, and her skill allows her to do this. That's Calcit's summon, by the way. Put Ling over here for extra blockage, another healer.
I'll take care of this place.
One word to address all beneath the heavens. Just who
This lady's the boss, by the way.
Time is limited.
That was a visual glitch. That was interesting. I've only seen that one other time, I think.
There'll be no more.
I did not mean to put her down there like I did. Faiku said, I forgot how tedious this stage is.
Just who are you weaklings when you stop like that?
This wasn't even the hardest stage in the game.
speak as your heart wills.
Or in the story, I mean.
Patiently wishes.
See, I narrowly managed to take those guys out before my dragon disappeared.
Don't let them get away.
Yielding is not an option. Follow my orders, monster.
Now, I've seen multiple different ways to play this stage, and that's one of the things that makes Arknights unique, is that you can technically beat any stage in the game with a bunch of cheap, leveled up, like low-star characters, and then a borrowed 6-star. Faiku said, you really just brute force it. Yes, I love brute forcing things. I'm plenty smart, but I have fun brute forcing things.
Prepare to counterattack.
And now we just wait for the boss to come back.
Laying
Just her
suppressive
left.
fire.
Jake said, man, Defense Grid Awakening had 4 different turrets with 3 different ranks, and the maps were huge and all about placement. This has placement on the track as well. I love the complexity in tandem with the smoothness that you were radiating whilst playing. Faiku said, not even breaking the balls. He's talking about these things. So you might see the down and up switches over here. This particular story had a game mechanic in its missions called Gravity, where the floor could shift up and down like a teeter-totter, and it would move these balls along these golden pathways here. The boss is capable of locking the balls down so that you can't damage other units with them, because a lot of people would use these to their advantage to attack enemy units as they walked through. I'm not big on that. It's a cool mechanic, but I'm not good at it, so I just went full, so don't even let them get through in the first place. Also, when the boss locks down these things, they are then capable of dealing damage to my units that are around them. So I intentionally focused my units away from where the orbs are. And see, now I'm just unleashing everything I can on this boss. There's that glitch again.
That was some beautiful teamwork. Well done, everyone.
Let's see. It's here, I think. Ah, yes. This is the actual toughest mission in this game mode. I was attempting this one over and over for hours, man. I think it took me a straight half hour just on my finishing run. Jake said, I'm barely noticing the visual glitch, but man, that mission looked fun. This one was real hard. I actually had to use a guide to beat it, and I still struggled to follow the guide properly because there was so much like frame-perfect timing on things for it. Faiku said, more tedious than EX8. Yes, very much. And I can show you how this one worked as well. I did not expect to go down this rabbit hole today, but oh well, I've got some time. So, I don't know if you noticed, I've got a lot of low-star characters to this one, and that's because some of my favorite guides to follow that are also the easiest for me to follow involve low-star characters. Because you can find entire guides on how to beat these missions with low-tier characters. And I use those frequently because oftentimes the more powerful builds that you see have like a whole bunch of 6 stars that are leveled up to max, and despite how far I am in the game and how many characters I've collected, there's usually at least one that I just can't do that with yet. Faiku said, dang, you even use Gladia despite being E1. I'm suddenly forgetting who Gladia is. No, wait, maybe not. I don't know. Jake said, hey, please don't let me push you in a direction you didn't intend to go in. This is your show. Nevertheless, I appreciate the chat interaction. I do too, and that's part of why I'm doing this. I'm really enjoying this conversation and showing off this game. Plus, I didn't have much of a plan for this stream. I was going to check out the April Fool's thing, and I didn't know what I was going to do after that. But we are going to go back to that once I'm done with this. I've shown off this game several times, but I don't think I've shown off this mission on stream before. So we got Buddy Mlinar here, who does nothing unless his skill is active. And then his skill is essentially a short-range screen wipe. This is his skill range. Like you said, April Fool's looks different. I mean, technically, this isn't my April Fool's stream. That was last night. I played a casino game.
Scenery, Vermin. It's safe here.
Jake said, okay, well, I appreciate all you're doing for my sake. That's very big and generous of you. You're welcome.
You again today, little apple. There you are.
So you can see this time I actually had to focus on these. Granted, I was following a guide, like I said.
This is the place. Serious now.
And you'll notice I'm stalling the boss up here. I am not damage hoarding like it was before. Because I tried that. I tried using my own tactics in this mission, and I could not wrap my head around it. This field is completely open, and I was not used to doing that. See, that's why Gladia's here, is to yank this guy out of his path. And you'll see I put down gravel over here to stall him temporarily, keep him in Gladia's range. Jake said, so this is automatic, auto-deploy function normally? Yes, this is automatic. This is how I beat this mission when I finally beat it. This is a repeat of that, and that's a function of the game that allows you to like farm missions without having to constantly play it yourself. It's a sort of idle thing. It's not technically a replay, because the game copies your tactics, but otherwise still plays the mission normally. And in fact, this might lose. I think the last time I tried to show this off to someone, it actually lost, despite doing it automatically. Because, like, character stats and such have changed after I've leveled them, and there's maybe a tiny bit of RNG going on. I don't know. This mission was so tight to complete with this strategy that even the auto-deploy can fail it. But you see lots of stalling and waiting for things to just be ready. Jake said you've created a mapping of the mission that you're implementing again, something like that. Basically, if you can complete the mission with no failure, then the game remembers how you completed it and allows you to set it to automatically do it again. And no failures means, because you see this up here, this is life, basically. I can allow up to 3 units through. So if 2 get through, or even 1 gets through, then I only get 1 or 2 stars on mission completion. If nobody gets through, then I get 3 stars and auto-deploy becomes available. And you see more stalling here. Gladia is keeping this guy from getting to that exit, because I cannot currently do much to him without screwing things up.
He's so cold.
And you see I've still got the boss pinned up there. Just waiting. Because I cannot handle her and all of the waves of enemies all at the same time. Faiku said a lot of stalling. Yes, this mission had a ton of stalling. It was really painful. Especially because I kept failing it.
Yielding is not an option.
But this is how incredibly complex and long-winded, I guess, some of these tactics can get. Jake said the character on the left-hand side pulling that mob back to keep attacking, that's a cool mechanic. Yeah, so her name is Gladia. She's a subtype called a...
Just like the
Is it a
old
puller?
days. No.
I don't know. Her entire subclass is devoted to pulling enemies to her location. There's also this character here called a push stroker. They do the opposite. They push enemies away. That boss at the top really is taking a ton of attacking to take out. Yes, she is.
This will be over soon.
And that's the thing, you saw in the last mission, I was unleashing all kinds of heck on the boss and she was still taking a while to go down.
Solidify.
And all of those characters that I was using on the boss are some of the highest damage dealers in the game. In fact, Surtur here was, I believe, the first character in the game to be designated as a boss killer by fans because her damage was so high. And now pretty much all of the 6 stars that I used in my last mission were in some way a boss killer by fan standards. Oh yeah, the pullers are called hookmasters, that's right.
This will be over soon.
But some people just call them pullers and pushers. And you see, now I'm trying to deal damage, but I have to stop just before she dies. That is very important to this particular strategy. Because other characters need to be she needs to be in a different position before she activates round 2. Specifically right around there. Now I bring him out to deal with all these orbs. And all the enemies spawning up here. Jake said, oh, round 2 is coming. Yup. Every boss has multiple phases.
This is the place. Uh-huh. We're counting on you again today, little apple.
And see, now I've got the pusher over here. I didn't need to use her skill there, I did that out of habit. Thankfully it didn't matter.
Please hold up.
And you might wonder, why is it taking me so long to put these characters down? Well, I don't know if you've noticed down here, whenever a character is defeated or removed from the field, they have a countdown before I can put them down again. And that's part of why there's so much stalling, is because there's so much moving of these characters that I have to stop the mission from progressing until I can put everyone down in new positions. Mobs being able to move diagonally must suck at times. A little bit, but that's what's nice about the tile arrangement, is that if they go through that tile, you can usually stop them there. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but it's usually simple enough. Now I should mention the complexity of this strategy is not something I could have come up with on my own. I'm not that smart. The strategy of the previous mission, I believe I did, or at least mostly come up with on my own. This one, nah, not even close. And you can see we've got the pusher thing going on here, keeping this guy from reaching the exit before I could... Well, I didn't see what took him out. Something took him out. But I just had to keep him from reaching the exit, and the whole reason I wasn't just blocking him is because that guy would deal a ton of damage to any character I put here. So instead I need to keep him away from that character and have him take damage from other sources instead. Oh yeah, now I know how he died. This character deals extra damage to units they push based on how far the unit is pushed. So this guy died by getting pushed all the way over here, over and over. And this single character can handle that. Shaw is one of my favorite characters in the game, even though I don't use her much, just because she's both adorable and awesome. All my other units are over here because they are dealing with these super tanky power armors. Jake said, with the complexity of an open map in a tower defense game, along with the amount of different types of characters, plus the different types of mechanics and mobs and diagonal movement, I can see why you needed a guide. Just watching this is baffling, but I am catching on to it. Glad to hear it. Yeah, this game baffles me too, frequently, which is part of why I love it. I wish I was still allowed to play it at work, but I no longer work at that location. Okay, everything's dead. Now we're just dealing with the boss. And I might have failed this part. Or the auto-deploy, rather, might have failed this part. See, I can't put any of these characters down at the moment. It's just these two and the ones already on the field. Now I think there should be more going on by now, but I could be wrong. Red said I'm calling it a night early. Best of luck with the rest of the stream. Talk to everyone next time. Have a good night, Red. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed.
Yielding is not an option.
Alright, so now the effort here is to defeat the boss without the boss killing everyone else. I don't know if the auto-deploy will succeed. This is usually where it fails.
Yielding is not an option.
I'm here to help.
Because, see, my
Have to get serious
points
now.
are down. I needed to put her over here
Just who are you weaklings
in a safe spot to rebuild those so I can put down the rest of the onslaught. And see that it failed. Auto-deploy failed. What would usually happen is I deal with all of the orbs. Maybe I don't need to at that point. I don't know why it was focused so heavily on them. But yeah, usually by that point you'd start putting down a bunch of units on the right side to finally take out the boss. I'm going to retreat because no biggie. Are those balls doing AoE damage? I'm not sure what the animation emanating from them was. Yes, that was AoE damage. That is one of the boss's powers, is she can lock down those orbs and make them deal AoE damage, which makes them harder to unlock, and also makes it harder to deploy units onto the field. But yeah, that's one of the toughest missions I've ever done in this game. To the point that even the auto-deploy can't handle it. And that is 2 missions from one story that has, let's see, 10 proper missions, 2 bonus missions, 2 training missions. So we're at 14, 8, so we're at 22. 29 missions in this one story. And we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 additional stories. We've got roguelite mode, which has 3 of its own currently. You've got farming missions. You've got this game mode, which allows you to adjust the difficulty of the mission itself. You've got the actual story, which has... What are we at, chapter 13 now? And these chapters usually have a lot more missions than the side stories.
Glad to see you again, Doctor.
And you've got events, like this one. This game is huge. And how do you like my way of bringing it back to this? Alright, so I've explained how this whole game works now. Faiku said you official with cry emojis. Why cry emojis? Jake said, besides different game modes along with the story, there's literally other game genres? Also fantastic full circle. Well done, sir. Thank you. Sort of. So like I said, this mode is a roguelite mode. This is just the gameplay you just saw, but it allows you to affect how difficult the mission is. These are all just side stories, and then the main story. But yeah, sometimes they do release an event that changes things up a little bit. Training mode as well. Yeah, there's training stuff in this game everywhere. Some of it isn't very adequate. It will not teach you very well the deeper requirements of things unless you already know what it's talking about. But you've seen how it all works, so you kind of get the gist. The game will explain everything else just fine. Anyway, let's see what else there is here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, Blood Pressure Spiking Sorrowful Season 2. Interesting name. The fan favorite destination, beating Dulceless TV stations with stream revenue. Jake said I'm definitely keeping a wiki or guide on my phone whilst I play this. You'll get the hang of it. I didn't use any wikis very much, but I definitely did use guides during a lot of boss missions until I had this massive selection of character options. My golly. So many characters, man. Let's go more gameplay. Heck yeah. Faiku said, did you know there are 6+1 endings? Do you mean in the main game or in this thing? And let's hop into this. The April Fool's one? I had no idea. Let's see if we can nab KB over here. Okay, short redeploy time, so that's good. Grumpy dude, so we don't want him. What am I about to see here? Oh wait, I just realized these dudes are fighting each other. I don't think I've ever seen enemies fight each other before. So that's one of the boss characters. Dang, it's just out of range. Let's try this again. Or are these two gonna start fighting? That'd be neat. Oh, come on, guys. Epic battle time. Give it to me. Jake said the soundtrack has been really solid this far as well. A lot of people love the soundtrack, man. He also said, interesting, like classic Doom style, different species of enemies are infighting. Sort of, yeah. These two are chatting. Oh, there goes the earlier machine boss, but it's the driver running away. What happens if I get these two? Okay, good. That guy didn't go left. Faiku said Croc, Durin, Machine Thingy, and KB. Yep. These guys are called Akawalans, though, aren't they? Ah, here comes one of the cars. One of the Durin cars. Time's up. Seven photos. Two mediocre ones. We got Pero in Waiting. Big Ugly Thing. That's its actual name. I'm not kidding. It's called the Big Ugly Thing. Full Metal Surfing Instructor. War of Thick versus Thin. They look the same to me. And Wine Tasting Bus. You don't have a ton of footage, but it might be fine to force a live stream. Let's try it again. See if we can get that fight at the top. Yeah, I had 7, I just missed the fight. Jake said, War of Thick versus Thin. Sounds like the movie adaptation of Gamergate 2.0. So, that's actually a small lore bit here. There's... these crocodile dudes, there's like different tribes. And some tribes have thick tails, while others have thin tails. And they are constantly bickering between each other as to which is better. Okay, I need her. I need to put her here facing up next. Oh yeah, okay, so if they have the exclamation point, I should focus them. Got it. Specifically a yellow one. Can I get it before that guy gets in range? Got it. Just barely. I'll speed this up a little bit. Nope. Went the wrong way. Think I'm gonna miss the big ugly thing. Faiku said baited. Yeah, I was baited. Oh, that dude just fell in a hole. I think I failed this one again. Yeah, I only got 6.
Mission accomplished.
Let's try that one more time. I can do this. I can see how to do it. I just gotta execute it properly. Might need more mediocre photos. No. I need the real footage. That's what the game said, didn't it? Place her here facing up. And now wait for these two to cross paths. Got it. I think she's good to stay here now. Oh wait, no, I had these guys I needed to get. Gosh dang it. Forgot about that. If I gotta redo this again... I missed that thing, but oh well. Two more, yeah. Just gotta hope I can get the two.
Mission accomplished.
Okay, might need to do that again. I don't like the might be fine. No, we need actually good. Force it, I guess, says Faiku. I don't want to force it. I don't want to. We're doing it right. I'm a do-it-right kind of person. Okay, first you.
다녀오겠습니다.
Next up, top. Next up, bottom, and then left. Jake said, quick question, do you have any monetization or donation links? I do not at the moment. I intend to at some point. Things have been really busy lately, so that hasn't really been on my mind. But I really should get to setting that up. If I even can. I think there's a threshold for Twitch that I haven't passed yet, but I'm not sure exactly what it is, if anything. Heck yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Can I get the bird? Dang it, just missed him. Oh well. Well, I got 8. So now I just need to get the car. Jake said, I have no donation links either, and I don't have YouTube or Rumble or any streaming like Twitch. Just was asking to see if I could throw a little support your way. Well, I appreciate it. Now we got 9. I nailed it. We've got Pero in Waiting, interracial harmony friendly boxing match. Big Ugly Thing, Full Metal Surfing Instructor, Mead Grade Waker-Upper, War of Thick vs. Thin, and Wine Tasting Bus. Collected enough footage and the streamer's raring to go. Let's see how this works. Welcome all new faces and welcome back old faces. I'm just hiding. No, I'm the ultimate beautiful girl runaway streamer you. So many new viewers. Thank you all so much for the gifts. I don't want people gifting me stuff, please. No, I really don't need them. Please don't get the wrong idea, everyone. Just your comments and praises are already enough. Don't give me presents. Oh, these have like ratings or something going on. Everybody likes this one. Don't focus on their height difference, but rather their fighting back and forth. This is the power of Durin-style martial arts. Look at that solid posture. He's about to hit that Archosauria's knee. Knee-smashing boxing technique. I'm streaming a live stream. Who would have expected this meta? She tried to sing a song and her voice broke. Let's go with this one. Isn't this one of those surfing instructors from Zero Erza that can't float? Why is it here? Jake said, "Yo dog, I hear you like live streaming, so now you can live stream a live stream while live streaming in your live stream." Yup, that was a meme. A Durin-made robot surfing instructor. Look at the towel on its head, and the surfboard in its hand, and even that whistle on its neck. Virtually perfect except for the fact that it can't float. the chat. As for how they teach you surfing, if you can't, they'll just give you a punch until you do. Be wary of new types of financial scams. Tap on a blank area of the screen to close the live stream. Oh, we got some story here. In a certain place, in a certain city, on a certain month and year, there was a live streamer by the name of U Official, commonly known as Streamer U. When she wakes up every morning, everything is brand new. This, of course, includes a new barrage of comments, leaving new scars in her heart, no less piercing than real bullets. Streamer U has always been extremely anxious about negative feedback from her audience. Oh, Faiku said, for the true ending you need to not max any of the stats. That's interesting. Though in truth, not many hold genuine hostility towards her. She isn't lacking in talent and reveals her hard-working side every now and then. How could anyone other than her competitors hate such a dedicated girl? However, she always manages to pick out the single cynical moment out of 100 before falling into a death spiral of panic, defeat, and self-doubt. I'm just gonna... There we go. Got a friend that this is really relevant to. Jake said, "Oh man, this story's resonating." She's had conversations with people representing the platform. They mostly talked business, but also expressed a desire for her to cut loose a bit, which they felt would benefit both parties. However, she could only see this as a warning. With the threat of non-existence looming over her, she indeed tried to cut loose for a few streams, but the results were appallingly bad, and her follower count actually fell rather than increased. Though only a few dozen would unsubscribe each time, the pressure building up inside her heart finally reached critical mass. This time, she found herself at a loss for words on stream. She simply stared into the camera with a blank, lifeless expression for half an hour. Well, that's ominous. Jake said, "How apt for Twitch. Pool streaming comes to mind." I don't even know what pool streaming is. I've never heard of that. Finally, she said, "Eureka! Eureka! I get it now! Ignoring the stream of comments, some showing concern, others suspicious or derisive, Streamer U went offline. The next day when she came on air, New faces shall soon have their eyes opened. Old faces will have to deal with it. Hello everyone. Neither I nor my stream matter. All that matters is that I do what must be done. Next I shall offer a chant for everyone, followed by meditation time. Those who were not fated to be, Alt F4. The rest of those ordained by fate will rejoice. Now my assistant will help us turn to the correct verse in the scriptures. I cometh. Sussy Higashinese. This is a wooden fish sculpture carved by mine own hands but a few days prior. Please strike it aloud. No birth, no death, no defilement, no purity, no food, no drink. I do believe thou art mistaken. It should be no increase, no decrease. Oh, no increase, no decrease. Thou must have recited of food and drink due to thy hunger, but until the proper time comes, patience is another aspect of the practice. Faiku said she became a monk. Indeed, it seems she has. Jake, referring to pool streaming, said women in small bikinis in a kiddie pool streaming, and that's basically it. Amaranth made it pretty famous in the media. The Twitch sexy women skirting the line of the rules and still being monetized meta she's been a big part of. I haven't followed that because it's dumb. That's my opinion. It's dumb. It's cheap. I mean, sure, you could argue gaming on Twitch is cheap, but I actually have knowledge of gaming history and writing inspiration and all that jazz. Jake said, neither have I. I hate it. I do implore thee, be not impatient. I shall use the mop next to the wall to perform a blade dance for thee, in hopes of cutting off thoughts of excess within thy heart. Sever all desires. No attainment of wisdom, no wisdom to attain. Cleanse the six senses, and reach clearest nirvana. Nato Gohan. Stomach growls. Aburagi. Doesn't one of the characters say that when you use their skill? Doesn't Saga say that when you use her skill? Streamer you salivates. It was Saga, yeah, I got it. Initially, older viewers saw this as some kind of whimsical performance art, but after a few days of streams, they found that Streamer U seemed to be dead serious. Her former subs cancelled one after another, replaced by a torrent of viewers who came to poke fun at her. But she was always either chanting, meditating, or doing some meaningless chore, such as carrying water or chopping firewood with her suspicious Higashinese roommate, never once looking at the chat. Even after the band of glory seekers left, a group of viewers who chanted and meditated alongside her slowly assembled. The platform saw this as an opportunity to save the washed-up streamer, but when they arrived at Streamer U's rental unit, not a soul could be found. Since then, nobody has even seen Streamer U, or rather, Eureka. Jake said, I wish these women on Twitch would become monks instead. I've seen a few good ones, but yeah, there's definitely a few that are just like... What? The only gift she left for the city was a note that said, all is nothingness, a pile of bad debts, and a legend. As for the fact that her rental unit was turned into a bucket of cold water, a slap in the face, a cold reality check for tourists, well, that wasn't something Eureka could have foreseen. Finish one live stream. We got Eureka.
This is your omnipotent streamer. You're... sorry. Scratch that. Rhodes Island operator. You official. Reporting in, Doctor.
I didn't realize we'd be getting a character from this. You officials folder. Her folder, huh? She's a 1-star bard. You can get U official, potential, and trust by completing the task. I kind of figured as much. I just wasn't I don't think we've ever gotten a character from an April Fool's stream before, have we? I mean, April Fool's event, my bad. Well, Jake, here's your incentive to hop into the game as soon as you can. Get yourself a free 1-star unit. 1-stars are not that great, but they are helpful in a pinch. Oh, she was voiced by Lily Pichu. At least in the English version. I didn't know that. I know that voice. Isn't Lily Pichu the girl that, oh, what's his name? The guy that made the swearing Roomba. Michael Reeves. Isn't Lily Pichu, like, friends with Michael Reeves or something? Isn't she the girl that he's always pranking? Jake said she was a member of Offline TV, also there together. Okay, I figured they might be together, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to suggest that they were if they weren't. That's cool, alright. I know who Lily Pichu is. I didn't know she was in here as voice, that's cool. Let's check out the profile here. Years of service, less than a year. Okay, that's interesting. Faiku and Jake are talking about things like trust and potential. I can explain that in more detail in a moment. But this is interesting because most characters have combat experience, but some of them very few have stuff like her, years of service. There's a Mountain who has prison brawling experience. Place of birth undisclosed. Date of birth January 4th. Race Zalak. Medical tests have confirmed that no infection is present. Okay, so that reminds me one major plot point of this game that might take you a bit to understand, Jake, so I'll explain that as well. A lot of their technology is reliant on a substance called originium. However, originium, if originium dust gets into the body, then it causes an infection called oropathy, which slowly crystallizes more of the body until eventually the host dies and their body explodes into more dust. It's caused a massive pandemic that has also led to the world being divided between the infected and the non-infected. Rhodes Island, the company you work for and help run in the story, is one of the leading developers of oropathy science and study, as well as being something of a safe haven and supporter for all factions. Jake said, sounds like asbestos, but for the whole body and causing an apocalypse. Basically, yeah. And so that's why you see things like infection status is because your company is one of the leading companies dealing with this infection, and so they keep track of the infection status of everyone that comes through. Mobility flawed, tactical acumen flawed. Why can't... There we go. It wasn't scrolling. U official, commonly known as Streamer U, used to be an online streamer in a certain nomadic city. After being recommended by Operator Click, she signed a cooperation agreement with Rhodes Island. In addition to providing broadcasting services for our operators, she is responsible for hosting events and other work. She also serves as a consultant and provides support when Rhodes Island interfaces with media organizations. Other than Click, who once lent her a helping hand, Streamer U has also had encounters with a few other Rhodes Island operators, though not always under pleasant circumstances and while going by a different name. Ultimately, we suspended any further background checks at her insistence. Eureka Tequila upon passing by coincidentally. You've got the wrong person, you big fat liar, Streamer U babbling incoherently. That's right, Eureka was already a character, wasn't she? Is this an alter of some kind? Jake said getting some food. Faiku said if you watch Chinese live streams quite often, you will know who she is. Why is that? She is the broadcaster? That's interesting. Yeah, I guess I thought she was in the game before, but she may have only been mentioned in passing or something. I looked her up, and it doesn't seem like she was a playable character before this. Since she's a 1-star, I might as well level her up.
Doctor, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. No matter how many vids like this I watch, I won't learn how to fight.
I like how she's being honest about the fact that level 30 is her highest level.
Glad to see you again, Doctor.
It's always ended up in a bad way? Why is that?
Products received. Resources received.
Glad to see you again, Doctor.
It is getting late, I should be closing up soon. In Dosilis, her camera got stolen, and in Ideal City, the sky broke. Yeah, that's true, that did happen. Jake is back. Welcome back, Jake. So I need to be shutting down the stream in a minute, but I can finish explaining things. Another important thing to mention, while I remember, that's also important to the story plot, is they have events seemingly drawn in by Originium stuff called catastrophes that are essentially just huge world storms. Not worldwide storms, but like nature storms. They're huge nature storms. Like, for example, a city-wide thunderstorm with the might of Zeus would be counted as a catastrophe. But, to avoid being completely wiped out by these things, they have essentially built what they call nomadic cities, or plates, which are literally massive moving cities. It's like just a really, really absurdly big tank. So that if you understand that, then that and the Originium thing, then a lot of the story makes a lot more sense. The way the story is told is one of those things where they explain some things but expect you to pick up on the rest over time. but that'll help you understand things better. As for potentials and trust and all that, those are just ways to slightly increase character stats. Trust is earned by using characters in combat or using them in the base, which the base is for like passive resource gathering over time. See? And since I'm on mouse and keyboard, I am not in a position to zoom out, really, without just doing this. And building up trust... I'm trying to remember how it works, because there's something that happens at 100% and something at 200%, and I don't know what the difference is. But yeah, it's slight stat increase. And then potential is similar, you get slight advantages to how the character works. Reminds me of the XCOM map, but this is even bigger and more detailed. Indeed. This game is very deep. You've also got skill ranks, which upgrade the power and cost of skills. And you've got promotions and levels, which are just regular leveling things. You level them to max, then promote them for access to higher levels, basically. E2 is the highest level promotion possible for any character. Some characters can't even reach E1, usually just the super low level ones. Like the 3 stars. She can't be promoted because she's a 1 star. I said 3 stars, I meant the 1 stars. You've got 2 stars, which have the same level max. These are starter characters. You've got 4 stars, which I think could be promoted twice. 3 stars can be promoted once, I think. You know, lots going on. Faiku said you will get max stats from Trust at 100, 200 is just for more lore. Got it. So that's how that works. Oh yeah, there's another thing here that is only unlocked for E2 on specific characters. They're bringing out more and more over time. Not all characters have them at the moment though, and it's called a module. And this is a further stat boost as well as stat change. So you can see a HP and attack go up a little bit. Branch trait changes, let's see. So the normal traits continually loses HP over time. This one changes it to include increases SP recovery rate by 0.25 per second while above 80% HP. But you've also got slightly overpowered ones like Aya. Aya here is already absurdly strong. But this thing also allowed her to ignore 10% of the target's resistance. Which means they can't handle her abilities as well now. The module can change how ops play. Mostly it's just nice stat and talent boosts. It changes how they play a little bit, but it doesn't like totally change their class or anything. It just kind of changes how their stats work. Also, you've got alternate characters. You see Aya is here twice. This is a version of her that is a caster. This one is a healer. That can happen to some characters. Jake said lots of different stats and different types of character classes have different skills. Yes, indeed. There's also classes and subclasses. So, for example, Hoshiguma here. You've got this defender symbol. She's a protector. Her whole deal is that she can block a lot of enemies to stop them from getting through, and she can deal decent damage to them while also just being an all-out tank. But she still needs support or she will go down eventually. Saria is a different case. She is a guardian. Her whole deal is that she can still deal decent damage, but she's mainly there she has the opposite approach, where protector defenders are all-rounder defenders. Guardian defenders heal those around them instead of focusing on damage. Hey there, Hinswin. I was about to shut down, but you just made it for some chatter and explanation of this game. Hinswin said, Lamau, darn. Well, see, it's 3:14 a.m., and I need to be going by about 3:30 on most nights. Because I gotta be up by 11 in the morning. Well, 11:30 in the morning, to cut it close. Now, another thing that can happen is as you level up characters, you can also change their combat range. So let's see if I can find a good example. So here's Quercus. She is a support unit of Abjurer type. Her range looks like this, with the white square being where she stands. But if I level her up further, it expands with 2 extra tiles on each side. And you've got a lot of characters that do that, so you're encouraged to level them up beyond certain points. Hinswin said, yeah, fair, I had other people I had to go see, it's been too long. That's totally fine, man. I'm not blaming you for being late. It's just coincidence. Good for you for meeting people, though. They also said pretty art. Yes, the artwork in this game is absolutely fantastic. Look at this dude. That's a handsome dude. Great color choice for everything as well. His default art was meant to be a summer beach kind of thing, because he came from a beach event. But yeah, look at this. This is gorgeous. Oh yeah, do you guys know who Yang Ya is? Hinswin said he has a tail. Yes, not everyone, but nearly everyone in this game has animal or fictional creature traits of some kind. So like this guy's literally based on a Pegasus, but all you've got is the wings and the tail. And it's because this takes place in a universe where humans technically died out, but humanoid-esque species eventually evolved into existence afterward. Jake said, yes, he sniped a roll out from under me. What do you mean? Politicking and more connections? Well, he's also the voice of this guy.
Doctor, thank you kindly for taking care of my sisters. I hope you will excuse me for intruding upon Rhodes Island for a little while. Please call me Chongyue. It's a name given to me by an old friend of mine.
Another fun fact. He is her brother, known as Loudman. I haven't heard that one before. Jake said, I spoke about it on DJ Access's livestream. I had a role lined up, and I awoke one day to a Discord message saying I no longer had it. Lo and behold, Yang Ya had the role when I checked the credits after the game came out. That's a shame. More cool artwork. That's a drone, by the way. Got Gnosis here, just looking awesome. I love this artwork. Jake said it was going to be my first AA/AAA game character role. I was very salty. Who was it and what game, if I may ask? It's been a couple years. Faiku said on his first release, Changyu, the first to have a manually activated skill that can auto-activate. I don't think I even remember that being a thing. Oh, because like once you... Yeah, after you use this a certain number of times it becomes auto-activated. Gotcha. Yeah, Gaviel the Invincible being awesome over here. Getting Gaviel here when she came out was that was the moment when I really started to build up my roster. 'Cause I got her and then I got Chalter, and those two were able to significantly bolster the kind of progress I could make in this game. Also, yes, that is a chain axe she is holding, alongside a chainsaw. Fika said because of Changyu's auto-activated skill, he is incredibly loud. Since on auto-activate, it has cooldown how often the battle lines play, but since Changyu's skill is from manual activate skill, it has no cooldown. Oni Hunter Rama and Smite. Gotcha. I've heard of Smite. I've never played it. It doesn't really interest me that much. Didn't they recently get Avatar characters in that game? Here's another man. Dude's even got a beard and a mustache. Yes, they did very recent update. Yeah, I heard about it like a couple weeks ago. But like all the stuff I was finding was just showing regular gameplay without showing what the Avatar characters do in it. Here's another Monster Hunter crossover thing going on here. Some of the iconic armor. And I mentioned that there are guns in this game. Here's your proof. This guy's very classic looking. Like, he's got that old 80s anime face. Very proper, serious, and ultimately normal character. Just carries all kinds of that 80s anime vibe. Jake said the character was a white guy who had some Japanese lines, but still I read up and recorded for my tryout, if you will. I love this character's design. She just looks neat. But yeah, these guys you're showing are awesome. Yes, they are. I'm really bummed that Andreana is quite possibly useless compared to pretty much anyone else in her subclass. This was actually one of the first skins I got, just because I thought this looked cool. All of this looked cool to me, but I was just like, oh, that looks really neat, I want that skin, and I got it. I didn't finally get Andreana until over a year later. And unfortunately, Andreana's not all that good. Here's Calcit, that I was talking about earlier, and her summon, Monster, for some reason spelled with a 3 in place of the S, and no E. Jake said they really appreciate me showing this game off. I'm glad you appreciate it. I appreciate having your attention. Here's a bit of a pretty boy. He's actually a really nice fellow. Gentle soul. You've had it undivided for nearly 2 hours? Well, that's how this is supposed to go, ain't it? Oh, by the way, hint hint, it'd be really difficult for you just starting out, but you can get this guy from this right here. And the reason I bring that up is because his subclass, Therapist, is one of the better healing subclasses in the game because of their huge range. He's not quite as good as Pure Stream here. Pure Stream is by far the best one of her kind so far, but still. Faiku said no record restoration, though. I thought they had that for Stultifera Navis. Do they not? Is that not available for that yet?
Resources received.
Glad to see you again, Doctor.
I guess not. Alright, never mind then. He won't be able to get Lumen until that thing that's missing comes out. In China it already does, so it'll probably be coming out soon. It's just not there yet. The Chinese servers are 6 months ahead. So, whatever happened in... So all this stuff... Like, the these things happened 6 months ago in China. Oh yeah, I didn't even take a look at this. Oh well, this goes for a couple weeks. I've got time. That's pretty typical for Chinese developed games. I wouldn't know, but that's interesting to know. Just for fun. Look what I can do.
So you're saying I have the right to decide your schedule and itinerary? Which means, whatever I write in this memo book, Doctor, you've got to do. Wowie! Too late for regrets now!
This is one of my favorite backgrounds and one of my favorite songs from the game. It's just so techy. Gosh, I can't get enough of this music, man. This music sounds so cool. Still can't beat IS-3 BG theme. But yeah, that music comes from Dorothy's Vision, which is the story that kicked off the events of what became Lone Trail. So this bit was like the prequel to Lone Trail, basically. As for IS-3 is this. Personally, I like a different... Let's see, which one is it? Is it Shell's Echoes? Yeah. Oh, I'm missing 2 of them. What? Oh, probably because the other bosses I haven't fought. I like this song more than the default, personally. I like the clicking. It's very ominous sounding to me. But also just a little bit dancey. Makes it sound more haunting to me. This one's looking to be real cool, though. This one's... I don't know if you knew this, Faiku. Let's see. Can I show it? Okay, so... These are rewards that can be earned from this game mode. with one of them being a character. You can click these arrows to see the next major rewards that are coming up. We've got an icon, we've got furniture packs for the base, an outfit for Typhon, but also home screen UI. You're gonna get the ability to change the UI itself now. I'm freaking excited for that, especially because I love icy themes. And this is a really cool way to do it. Jake said, for someone like me who has spinal problems and only ever plays games with a controller, this really seems like an awesome game that I could enjoy the complexity and fun of controlling it with just my mouse. Yeah, it's very good, and you can get it on your phone too if you want to play it on the go, or control it with your fingers. Home screen UI will come in Chapter 13, says Faiku. Too bad I'm still in Chapter 8. Haven't had the time or ability to play more of the story with all the stuff going on in this game, because I no longer work a job that lets me play it leisurely. Which is like in 9 days. Cool. If we get a bunch of home screen UIs available, and I somehow have a bunch of them already unlocked, that's gonna be sick. I hope I can get one to go with this theme. I have 3 favorite... Well, I have a lot of favorite themes. Royal themes, or just in some way fancy themes. Winter themes, water themes, fire themes, and science-y themes. I'll switch this back to how I had it, just for the sake of matching with the events and such.
While you were out, I tried to sort the documents on your desk for you. It shames me to admit it, but
you know what? I completed the mission, so instead of doing this one, let's do Celebration. I love how chill this one is. Faiku said actual chill. Indeed it is. And they're at like a roof party or something. Man, I'm not normally one for high places, but if there was a roof like this out there, I could stand to join a party up there. I think. Especially if there's high walls. So no drunkard can just pick me up and throw me off the roof. Look at how cool this is, man. I need this vibe a lot more in my life. There's also this one. This is another great theme to me. This view reminds me of a temple I went to in California, a Mormon temple. Very beautiful places out there. So bright. Yes, it is very bright. But sometimes we need some light, man. Everything's so dark and dim these days. We need light. We need bright. Despite the fact that I would absolutely love to live here and hang out here, I think I'd feel most at home here if I were an actual character in this universe. Jake said those Mormon temples are really beautiful, fantastic architecture. Thank you! I should mention I and my entire family are Mormons ourselves, so... Yes, those temples are pretty. We've been building a lot of them lately, so, and one thing that's cool is, before the temple is dedicated, anyone can go in and check it out. They do actual, like, tours and stuff of the place before they dedicate it. Once it's dedicated, then you have to be like, a member of the church and everything. But yeah, if you can find any temples being built nearby to you, then you can find out when they start doing tours and go and actually see what the inside is like. You're a Christian but not a member of the Latter-day Saints, but you have an appreciation for the temples for sure. It's cool to hear. I'm not the most religious. I was raised in it, but then fell out of it for a while because I was raised in it and didn't have, like I was never really converted to it, you know what I mean? It was just kind of a thing for me. It was just a part of my life. And so now I'm getting a lot more back into things than I was before. You came back in your mid-20s? Same here, man. We've also got the ruins. This is another pretty good theme, I think. Oh yeah, Jake, something else you might be interested to know. There's an Arknights anime. I think there's technically 2 of them now, each one covering a different chapter of the main story. Mystic Sea. As neat as this effect is, and as well as it works, it makes the water look more like oil to me. And here's the default. Rhodes Island land ship itself. And the nighttime equivalent. I can almost feel the temperature outside in this image. Jake said, haven't watched tons of anime in my life, but there's a few I've watched and really liked. I don't really watch TV or a ton of movies for that matter, but if I start to really enjoy the game, I'll have to check that out. Thanks for the recommendation. Faiku said, bring back memories. Yep. Now there's this one. Is this the one you meant, Faiku? The one you said you liked? Now, I can't lie, this one is gorgeous, and it's interesting that your character's actually way over there this time, instead of off to the left like in the rest of them. This music is absolutely gorgeous, and it even has the soul one that's locked for me. Yes, currently it is. I just haven't played enough of Mizuki yet to get it. Also, it's not the only one that's locked for me currently. There's also Cloudy, because I haven't completed Chapter 9. I would say this looks less like Cloudy and more like Ashen. But yeah, the only reason I don't go to this one, the only reason I'm not driven to unlock this is because this is very bittersweet music. And I just can't handle bittersweet very well right now. Is the Doctor mourning in this one, though? Because, if I recall, he didn't lose anyone in the canon ending of that story. Oh, it's from ending 3 of IS-3 itself, but it ends well in in ending 4. Gotcha. Ending 1 is the canon ending, though, right? Yeah, I saw your messages, Jake. This music is very pretty. But it almost sounds too official and serious to be what I would call menu music. Oh yeah, there's also this store, of course. Jake, because this is a gacha game. So you do have currencies and such to spend, packs that you can buy. By the way, I actually do recommend getting this one if you decide to seriously get into the game. It's only $5, and for every day that month, you can get free draw materials just for logging in. The rest of these, feel free to get whatever appeals to you. But yeah, $5 a month, not too bad. You will also definitely want to get this pack and any other starter packs that are available. fixed income household, but we'll see. Fair enough. Like I said, just if you decide you're serious enough about the game. There is plenty that you can do without these, they're just very helpful. Is it because you bought them already? Yes, it is. These are all one-time purchase packs. That's why they all say starter. There's also outfits, as you've seen a lot of the skins that I've got. And then these are all technically free currencies right here. There's a lot of currencies in this game, it's really hard to explain them. Basically, you got all these furniture packs. I didn't remember this one being called a Caledon Light Store. But yeah, these free currencies are helpful for gathering other resources. Like, these things help you with headhunting and character drawing. In fact, you weren't around when I did it earlier, were you, Jake? Have a good night, Hints. Stream some Inkscape. I don't think I know what that is. You didn't show up until about 2:30 a.m. my time. Fair enough. I'm tempted to draw one just for fun. Screw it, let's do one draw on these three because I don't have these two yet. Come on, luck! Nope. 3-star.
I'm Vanilla, trainee operator from Blacksteel. Looking forward to learning from you, Doctor.
And see, I've already got that character and everything that drawing her can benefit me. So now I can convert that character and other characters that I have drawn duplicates of into these currencies here. Jake said, hello, Vanilla. I'm gonna nab this. Oh yeah, there's also a friends thing. So, let me know if you get the game and decide you want to stick with it. We can add each other as friends, and you can borrow some of my characters. I've also got a medal set that I've arranged. They've got archives for information or other special events, story stuff. Path to Glory. You can arrange these however you like. There's tons of different medals that you can add and include. I specifically tried to make a gradient from left to right with these, but I stuck Lone Trail on the end because nothing really gradients well with it. But I'm too proud of achieving that to leave it out. I like to call myself the King of the Mountains because I've got two mountains, this thing that could be argued to be a science mountain, a literal city-sized boat, a massive statue of a god. Anyway, I'm having too much fun with this conversation at this point. I really need to be finishing up. Oh yeah, here's the medals I earned from the event that was up in the corner that I wasn't looking at. Got the whole thing. Haven't completed these ones yet. There's Lone Trail. Anyway, I should finally be closing up. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Discord and YouTube are in my Twitch bio as always. You can go see those for past content and short clips, as well as to chat with me and get updates on future streams. With that said, I hope everyone has a good night. And tomorrow, before I forget, tomorrow I intend to check out this thing on stream. So yeah, more Arknights tomorrow night. Have a good night, Jake and Faiku and everybody else. I'll see you next time, hopefully.